Welcome, everybody, to Jen's on the Reel. I am Jen.
And I am Jen.
And today we are actually going to talk about work. But before we do so, we would like for you to subscribe, comment, share, and also follow us on all social media platforms.
And by the way, just in case you guys don't know what work is, we're in real estate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't talk about it often. We do bring it up here and there, but there's something that came about that I feel like you guys should be aware of, and we would like your opinion. And it's Donald Trump made a comment not too long ago. I think it was just within the week.
Yeah, recently.
And he mentioned that in order for you to be a realtor, you should have already a property, or you should own a property.
You should own a property. So basically what he's saying is, if you're going to sell the American dream, then you should be living the American dream. So if you're going to be a realtor, then how can you be a realtor if you've never owned a property?
Exactly.
And I think he meant ever, because you could own a property. But there's a lot of mixed feelings about this.
There are.
And of course, this is just one of, our president's quirky comments. We don't know if that's really a thing.
Yeah, we don't know. He was just throwing something out there.
But it's good for conversation.
He's gonna make something. Exactly. I personally feel like, a lot of people go to school to learn something that they've never actually done, or to do something they've never let's say like a surgeon, for example. A surgeon will learn how to do surgery without actually
doing the surgery.
Have had a surgery before.
Well, correct. So then you could have never had a surgery, and you could be a surgeon.
Yeah.
For instance, there's plenty of doctors that are men that deliver babies.
Yes.
They've never had a baby.
Exactly.
But I get what he's saying. So I do feel that I don't think you should have to own a home, because sometimes people get into real estate and their goal is to make enough money to buy a home.
Yeah.
There's realtors that start early. I mean, I started in real estate at 19.
Yeah.
I see young realtors today, 22, 23, 24, doing well. Some living at home and some maybe renting in order to buy a property. So everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah. And then you have the other people that become realtors because they want to use the real estate license in order for them to invest in their own property.
Right, correct. But then in that case, they'd be purchasing properties.
Yes. Whether or not they've already had experience prior to is a different story.
Right. Now, where I think this is interesting is, now I've always said this. You can literally, at least in Florida, you can go out and get a real estate license for, I don't know how much it costs now, like maybe $500, $600, $700. You pay some dues with MLS and a board, maybe $1,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay, and boom, you're a realtor.
Yeah.
And here you are, dealing with contracts, protecting or not protecting people's deposits. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility when it comes to real estate.
There is.
And what I have noticed is that you can have a real estate license, never done real estate, never sold or even bought anything, let's say. Have your license for 2 years. You can go out and get a broker's license and open up your own real estate license. Yeah. You can open up your own real estate company, and now you have a real estate company, never selling anything, just holding a license for 2 years. I feel that they need to do something about. You should have at least sold X amount before you can get your broker's license, or have X amount of experience in the sales before you get your broker's license. But being a real estate associate, I think that should be, now, should they be more tougher on the real estate?
That it should be, okay, so the education definitely needs to be a little bit more inclined to having better knowledge on how to handle these transactions. You look at the contract in the real estate course, like briefly, right? They sort of give you an idea of what it is, but they don't show you exactly how to be a realtor. I think there should be some parameters where either they have to mentor with somebody or something like that. And I know some brokerages are trying to do that, but it's not necessarily a requirement for most brokerages.
Right. You can literally just get a license, start tomorrow, and just try to figure it out. And don't get me wrong, the board gives you trainings, your brokerage, some brokerages do in-house trainings, they teach you contracts and stuff like that. And I get it. But I feel a lot of people learn.
And you have the broker's backing too. Like oftentimes when an agent enters the
Okay,
building,
but what
for
if
lack of
this
better
is
words.
what if this is a broker who just had a license for 2 years, opened up a company, has never sold anything in
I
his
mean,
life?
we've seen the disaster that becomes. It's
Girl,
out of
I got
control.
stories for days.
Yeah.
I've been literally in meetings, in offices, in brokerages, and I hear the broker teaching people the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And
They're not up to
I'm
date.
like, what?
Yeah.
And then I think I'm crazy, and I go back to my attorney and I ask, and she's like, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah. And see, the thing that people miss is that here you are getting a license, you know, and whether or not you have owned a home doesn't make you the expert to actually sell homes to people
I
and
agree.
to write this contract. First of all, even with us that we've been in the industry for a long time, when we go purchase a property, the personal feelings about the property change your mindset completely.
Oh, completely.
You know, so you don't treat things in the way you're supposed to because you're so personally vested.
Yes.
You know?
That used to happen to me when I used to do mortgages, when I did mortgages years ago. And I remember every time I had to do a mortgage for myself, I had to structure my own file. I mean, who doesn't know my life?
You forget the guidelines.
No, and who doesn't know my life better than me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even structuring, I will get stuck and I would have to go to one of my coworkers because I would just get like retarded. I don't know, like stupid. Like I would just go, duh. And I get stuck.
Yeah. And
obviously with time you get better, but still, it's a whole different emotion.
Yeah.
When it's yourself.
100%. And in reality, there's so much to this contract that is legal, and the realtor, for one, is not supposed to be giving any legal advice, and they're not supposed to be interpreting anything, which leads me to the next thing is there are a lot of people here that are getting this license and don't speak the language. I've never have been in the United States for a short period of time. I feel like, you know, with the language, you have to at least know enough or more to be able to go through this contract.
I know that usually what brokerages do is, follow this. And they do cookie cutter,
Yeah, but that's not protecting the customer.
Obviously, that's not the client. But it's so weird because here in Florida, like the realtor's doing the contract and the realtors, but yet you can't talk about, you know, certain stuff because you're not an attorney or a lawyer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. They does put the realtors in an awkward position because, you're supposed to know this and, you know, protect the deposit because you're supposed to know the ins and outs of this contract and how to write it and the writers and this. But you can't give legal advice because you're not an attorney.
Yep.
And I know it's not like that in all the states because
a lot of states do have attorneys involved, and
they're the ones that write up contracts.
Yep. But
you know,
they're not too many of them.
In commercial real estate here, most attorneys are the ones doing letters of intent and contracts, which as it should be because it gives. I feel like it puts a realtor in a bigger liability pool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It does.
It's like, damn if you do, but damn if you don't, you know?
It does. And this is, you know, one of the reasons why there was an episode we had discussed, you know, FREC or the removal of FREC and regulations and all that stuff. You know, I feel more than anything, the individual really has to have a full blown understanding. Like this is, so that you get a perspective, real estate, and even mortgage, you do a 1 week class. And that's it.
Yeah, 40 hours or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think for mortgage is less hours. And for real estate is a little longer. Or is it the other way around? I can't remember.
Like with mortgages, okay, so you can become a mortgage broker. Remember, I've done mortgage and I've done real estate. And I still hold a real estate license. So with mortgage, it's numbers. It's mostly numbers. And yeah, you have to learn certain things, but you have underwriters that make decisions and processors. So lenders, mortgage originators are just like putting stuff together, grabbing paper, doing numbers to see if they're DTI, and it's like you do it with a calculator.
Yeah, you have a system that automatically sort of like analyzes everything.
I feel like with real estate, it's a little bit more intense because
you're legally binded.
Right, you're legally binded by these contracts, and there's times that you're like, you know, I have one recently, just to give you an example, that buyer's fully approved, clear to close, ready to close, everything is great. He gets denied by the association.
Oof, yeah.
But now the seller wants half of the deposit.
Well, that's not.
Which
he has no leverage.
The person got denied. You know what I mean? But I went back to my attorney to, you know, I always dot my I's and cross my T's when it comes to these things. I go back to my attorney, and she's like, okay, you need to make sure that the realtor did everything according to the
Did
guidelines
not
of the
breach
contract.
timelines.
Luckily, this particular realtor I'm talking about, she's a good realtor. She's on her toes. She knows what's up. The first thing she told me was like, look, they applied according to the writer within this many days, da 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 da. And she's able, but not every realtor is savvy
No,
like that, especially
no.
when you've only been doing this such a short time.
Yeah.
And depending what brokerage you land in too.
Yeah, you definitely need, if you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, you definitely need that support, and to find somebody that does have the knowledge.
I feel like anybody that comes out, I mean, I know in one brokerage that I work with them very closely, they have a whole school.
Yeah.
That anybody that comes in new, they make them go through
Yeah.
like a little boot camp school.
Yeah.
You know, and they help them, but I think they.
But
should,
a lot of agents don't even want to even go through the process. They just want to wing it.
right, because a lot of agents want to come out of real estate school and they want to just
And they think that's
and they
it.
want 100% commission. I want the whole thing, and it's like, okay, if you want to be an attorney, a doctor, whatever, you got to go to college. You got
Yeah.
to pay for an education. I feel like
You have to do residency.
yes, or internships or
Yeah,
whatever. Sometimes you
internships,
got to
yeah.
work for free.
Yeah, exactly. and they don't understand the value of knowledge and that additional
The
assistance.
value.
Yeah.
Big time.
I had a conversation with an agent recently, and they're looking to, I don't know, probably join a team or something. They wanted more information, and it was an ad that we put out on the team. And the agent automatically is asking me, "Oh, how much? What are we offering as a split?" And this and that. And we're like, oh, at the end of the day, you also have to be able to deliver something in order to ask for something in
Right.
return. You know what I mean?
You got to have some kind of leverage.
Exactly. And the thing with new agents is that you, at the moment, other than time and labor, you absolutely don't have much to offer.
Right. And let me share this with you guys. Out of all the realtors that exist in South Florida, I could tell you that maybe 8 to 10% are actually making money in a career, that actually are making six figures
Yeah.
and actually like are producing on a constant basis.
It's maybe 10% of the industry.
Maybe. And then
And that's a big maybe.
And that's a big
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I feel, and I know, like you said, so I know some brokerages do this. You know, they make you mentor maybe for the first year or your first 2 or 3 deals, because at the end of the day, I feel like you're doing a disjustice
Yeah.
to the client.
You are.
Because,
It's
you know, fake
any-
it till you make it,
Yeah.
but until you lose somebody's deposit or you can't sell their house or
Exactly.
something happens and the buyer, the seller is getting sued.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, it's really crazy how just missing one day on a damn contract because you did not read it correctly, you didn't place it correctly, you weren't on top of it
Or
correctly.
you
whatever
didn't put
the
in
case may be.
or you didn't put in an initial.
Yep, or you missed an initial. There's so many things that could affect a deal, and agents are being reckless with this, you know, and we, you know, and this is where, okay, it doesn't matter. And these are agents that own property and agents that don't own property.
Right.
It doesn't really matter.
So that's why I'm thinking the Trump thing, it doesn't really matter
no,
if you own a property or not.
I feel
at
like
this
they
point.
need to have a better education,
Yes.
a better process to educate the realtors.
And to get licensed.
Yeah. You
And
know,
then once you get out of real estate school, which by the way, you don't learn nothing, just a little bit of laws
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. But like what happens in real life, it doesn't really happen in the class.
yeah, it
So
should,
you
it should
should
be
come
like
out.
clinicals, you know,
Yeah.
like where they put people, you know, where you do like an associates or something, and then
No,
they,
and don't get me wrong. If I was brand new to the industry and I just got my license, the first thing I would do is look for a team that actually is successful. Join that team. I don't care if they give me a 20% split
Yeah.
and give me a 30% split.
Yeah.
I'm there paying for an education.
100%.
And for contacts and for networking, you get more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than just, go to 100% company that I'm going to get 100%
You're
or
gonna
10%,
get 100% of
and I'm
nothing.
just going to wing it, and 100% or 90% of zero is zero.
Yeah.
Or maybe
100%.
1 or 2 deals a year
Yeah.
if you're lucky
Yeah.
on your first year.
Yeah.
You know, it might be you buying your own house.
Yeah. In the meantime, since we don't have those regulations, just make sure if you're an agent or looking to be an agent that you align yourself properly. We're here to help.
Yes, if you need any recommendations
Yeah.
too, we know a lot of people.
Definitely.
Reach out.
And on the other hand, as a consumer, make sure you hire somebody that actually does have some level of experience, and years in the industry doesn't really call for experience.
No, I know superstars that have had their license for 2 years and
Yeah.
are knocking home runs out of the park.
And equally, I know people that that have been in the industry for 10
20.
years or 20 years and haven't done anything and really can't protect you. So really be careful with those things. We do appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us today. And if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, or if you have an opinion about the matter, we'd
yes,
love
let
to
us
hear
know
it.
your thoughts. I'd be super interested to know.
Definitely, me too. So please do that. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and like, comment, share, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and also follow us on social media platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Okay, let's go.